Okay, so it's 11 o'clock, so let's get ready to begin. As usual, kind of check your environments for tripping or slipping hazard. Use as much support as you need. And we're just going to start with our usual warm up. So we're just going to be marching on the spot for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so moving any way you like. Take it as slowly as you need to. Okay, but do try to get your body a little bit warmer, get your heart rate moving slightly faster. Okay, so keep going while I let other people in. Okay, and let's also move our spine a little bit more. Okay, so let's take a breath in, bring our heart up to the ceiling, looking up slightly. Okay, as you breathe out, just relax your back, maybe chest slightly down. Okay, and just keep going for maybe 3 to 5 times. So deep breath in, heart up. Arch your back a little bit maybe. Okay, as you breathe out. Okay, if you feel okay, you can round your back a little bit more. But no need to go too far. We're just trying to gently move our back, kind of forward and back a little bit. And back to the center. Okay, still standing relatively tall, shoulders relatively wide. Okay, and turn slightly side to side. Okay, if you can, see if you can reach and touch the opposite hip. Okay, forward and both in front and in the back if you feel comfortable, if there's no pain. Okay, let's also look side to side a little bit. Okay, take this as slowly as you need to. Okay, let's kind of tilt your head a little bit sideways. And we're just going to be moving our shoulders up and down a little bit. Okay, breathing in as you reach up, breathing out as we reach down. Trying to create more space between the shoulders and the ears. If you do not feel steady, maybe hold a chair or just move the shoulders without tilting the head. Okay, 35 times, pause in the middle, make sure you feel okay before you switch over to the other direction. Okay, also 35 times. Okay, back to the center again. And we're just going to go into a big shoulder circle. And bring your spine along. Okay, so it's round slightly. Also try to bring your heart up again. Okay, feeling maybe your back muscles in the middle of your back engaging as you arch your back a little bit. Okay, try to still pull your shoulders back and down. Okay, and change direction whenever you're ready. Okay, shift things out a little bit. Okay, let's open, let's cross our arms in front. Okay, try to kind of pull your fingers back as well. Press your palm out a little bit. Feel a little bit of stretch maybe in front of your bicep muscle. Okay, I'm going to go forward and back. Okay, slowly see if you can reach a little further back and maybe a little higher up. Okay, but once again, stay in your pain-free range. As you reach your arm up, try to bring your chest up as well. Okay, let's stretch the front out a little bit more. And put on both hands behind the pelvis. You can take a breath in as you press your hands into your pelvis and pull your shoulders back slightly. Deep breath in at the same time. As you breathe out, just relax. Okay, hold it at the tightest point for maybe half a second to a second. And repeat for 3 to 5 times. Okay, shaking me out. Okay, and let's just kind of circle arms a little bit. Okay, slowly increase the range if you feel comfortable. Okay, and also switch direction whenever you're ready. Okay, let's just rotate just the arm. Okay, so elbow stays in the same spot as you rotate. Push your arms, your hands out to the side. Okay, opposite direction, you're going to reach into your armpits. Okay, with your elbows slightly away from the body. Okay, and going onto the wrist. Change direction. Okay, opening, closing hands. Opening, closing the fingertips. Okay, side to side a little bit. Okay, and wiggle all your fingers. Okay, relax on the upper body. Let's just go into the hips. Okay, maybe a little bit of back. Okay, so just go into a circle. Okay, kind of relax your back a little bit. Just let your upper body hang a little bit heavy as you try to push your hips out in different directions. Okay, so let's work on a hip hinge. So bend the hips, slightly bend the knees, back stays long. So your butt goes back, your knee stays roughly in the same place. Breath in as you push your butt back. Okay, check the curvature of your spine, so it should stay roughly the same shape. A little bit of a curve indent here, a little bit of indent at this position as well. Okay, so your spine does not move, your hips and your knees and your ankles are moving. Okay, just a couple more times. Okay, almost the same idea would go into a squatting stance. Okay, so hip still goes back, but this time knees bend a little bit more. Knees are tracking over our feet. Okay, so this means it's over the foot or over the feet. Okay, sitting on a tall bar stool. If you feel okay, you can choose to sit on a kind of a lower chair. Okay, but your hips are still going backwards, the spine is still nice and long. Your knees are still tracking over the feet. Okay, just 3 to 5 times at your own pace. Okay, let's stretch the front out a little bit. Okay, so 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Okay, check the curvature again. Don't overextend. So maybe flatten it a little bit for most people. Okay, and you're just going to push the hips forward as you reach up on the same size of leg that's backwards. Okay, so my right leg is back, so I'm going to reach up in the right arm. Okay, just 3 to 5 times. Hold on something if you need to. Okay, and 3 to 5 times on the other side as well. Okay, once again, check the back. Okay, we're not trying to stretch our back, so lift the front of your pants up a little bit more. Keep the back leg relatively straight. Okay, press it forward as you reach up a little bit. Breathing in as you do so. Okay, still be careful that you're not overarching your back as you reach back. It does bend a little bit more, but try to open the shoulders, open the hips a little bit more and not so much the back. Okay, shift things out. Okay, bend the knees. Okay, check your balance by just spending a little more time on one leg. See how you're doing today. Okay, move the ankles a little bit. Okay, so try to lean forward and back. Feet are still flat on the ground for now. Okay, so check your balance front to back. Okay, wake up your feet. Okay, when you feel comfortable, you can exaggerate the motion. Okay, use upper body to counterbalance as you lift your toes up and your heels up. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. Okay, side to side ankle, lift or tilt your feet side to side, kind of lifting one or same side edge up a little bit. Okay, and lastly, check your one leg balance again. Let's see if you can rotate your ankles if you need to. Grab a chair. And same thing on the other side. Okay, lastly, wiggle your toes, scratch the floor, lift them, your toes away from the ground. Spread them out a little bit if you can do so. Okay, and shake your out again. Okay, so we do need a chair for today, and then also our bands. So give everybody a second to grab it. Okay, so today we're just going to do the front and back of the upper arm, and then front and back of the upper thighs. Okay, so we're going to start off with the back of the upper arm. So that muscle is called the tricep muscle. Okay, and the purpose is for that muscle is to extend the elbows. Anytime you push something, rather it is like if you're pushing upwards from a chair or pushing open a door, anytime you're straightening elbows, you do need to use that. So we are going to train that muscle by putting one end of the band on the chair. Let's just switch to a different color chair just to make it easier to see my band. Okay, so one end on the backrest, anchor it down with one hand. Okay, we're going to walk backwards and we're going to go into that hip hinge position again. So that's the one where we bend the hips, knees are slightly bent, back is nice and long. So curvature of the back stays the same as if we are standing tall. Okay, so in this position, you're going to get your arm right beside your ribs. Okay, and everything is going to stay still except for the moving arm. Okay, so you're going to just straighten out the elbows. Imagine driving your fist backwards. And then slowly coming back, keeping the elbows in the same place. Okay, so you're going to go knock in your armpits and you're trying to keep it there. Okay, so get into that position first. More person in. Okay, and we're going to do 4 counts. Okay, so we're going to do 2 seconds out, half a second at the very end. Okay, and then 2 seconds back. Okay, so it'll be 1, 2, pause for half a second or so, and then 3, 4. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4. We can do 8 to 12 times. 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and slowly coming back. Okay, so kind of pay attention to how that felt. Okay, if it was very easy, which means by the 12 times, you still feel like you can do maybe, let's say, 5 more times, the band is a little bit too light for you. Okay, so you might want to tighten it up a little bit, shorten it, use a heavier band, or even double it up. Okay, so we want to get our muscles tight around 8 to 12 times. Okay, so shake everything out. Okay, when we are ready, we can do the same thing just on the opposite side. Okay, so same position as before. Okay, so hip hinge forward, elbow stays in the same place again, and also the same count. Okay, so really focus on the right end as well. So that's when the muscles work the hardest. So do try to straighten out the elbows. Okay, and coming back. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so both arms, the back of the arm might be a little tired. Even the arm is not moving because the arm that's pushing forward because you are still extending the elbows as you try to keep the chair there. So you might still feel a little tired with the arm that is not moving. Okay, so that's the back of the upper arm. We're going to do the same, almost similar idea with the back of the upper thighs. Okay, so the leg kind of work backwards. Okay, the back bends the knee. Okay, so anytime you're picking your feet up or bending the knee, you are using this muscle. Even as you bend forward and straighten up this way, you are also using this muscle a little bit. Okay, so today we're going to change it up. We're going to not use the band for the lower body. Okay, so but we can still make it hard by changing up the position. Okay, so we're going to go to the back of the chair. We're going to hold the chair. Put one foot slightly back. You can lean forward slightly, but not probably not this much. Okay, just slightly forward so you can easily hold onto the chair. Okay, imagine there's a big vase in front of your knees, so don't knock it over. So if you push it, don't push your knees forward. So keep the knees back. Okay, imagine there's an imaginary line here. Don't cross the knees. Okay, and don't move anything else except bend the knee and try to get your heel closer to your butt. Okay, so for this one, we're going to do a 3 count. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up for 1, hold it at the top position for the 2nd count, and then bring it back down on the 3rd count. Okay, so it's a 3 counts this time. Okay, so slightly forward, keep the knee kind of pull back a little bit. Okay, so it'll be 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. 5, 2, 3. 6, 2, 3. 7, 2, 3. 8, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 10, 2, 3, 11, 2, 3, 12, 2, 3. Okay, so both on the opposite side, your hips, your butt is going to get a little tight. On the side that you bend the knee, how hard it is depends on how hard you are trying. Okay, so if it feels very easy, try to squeeze it a little bit heel closer to your butt. Be careful not to cramp up. So you can imagine there's some sort of nut in your knee and you try to crush it. Okay, that'll make it harder. You can bring your leg a little further back. That'll make it harder as well. Okay, just be careful of cramping up. Okay, but make sure you do feel a little tight by kind of 8 to 12 times and then back up the upper thighs. Okay, shaking things off. We're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side. Okay, so get into position. Okay, slightly forward. Okay, once again, 3 counts. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 10, 2, 3, 11, 2, 3, 12, 2, 3. And shaking things off. Okay, so we're just going to repeat these exercises one more time. Okay, so kind of maybe see if you can remember how to do it. Okay, also think of how difficult or how easy it was on the previous kind of set. Okay, and adjust the difficulty as necessary. Okay, so on the right side, I'm going to make this shorten the band a little bit because it's a little easier on my right side. Okay, could be different for you. But once again, nice long back. Okay, slight bend in the knees. Okay, keeping everything still except to try to really straighten out the elbows. Try to imagine shoving your fist back almost. Okay, and also the 4 counts. But pause in a little bit. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. And feel free to even count along. Okay, that is a way to make sure that we are still breathing and not holding our breath. Okay, stretch things out. And whenever you're ready, you can repeat on the other side. Okay, take as long of a rest as you need to. Maybe be normal than necessary. Okay, so always check your posture first. Get everything right, okay, before you begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so both arms might actually be a little tired. My right arm is actually a little more tired from holding the chair. Okay, and we're just switching back and forth between upper and lower body. So let's go back to the lower body again. Once again, kind of think about the intensity of how hard it was on the previous set. Okay, adjust as necessary. If you have some sort of ankle weights, you can use those as well to make it a little harder. Okay, but you can also make it harder by just squeezing a little harder. So kind of a mind-muscle connection. So it's not just the weight, but how hard we can, how much muscle we can kind of contract or recruit at the same time. Okay, so sliding forward, 1 foot back, 1 leg back, keeping the knee at least in line, maybe ideally slightly back. Okay, and trying to squeeze the heel towards the butt, holding it for a second at the top, okay, before dropping it back down. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 10, 2, 3. Okay, so it's still roughly 8 to 12 times. You don't necessarily have to do 12. 2, 3, 12, 2, 3. Okay, shaking things out a little bit again. Okay, and when you're ready, you can just ready to do the same on the side. If you lean too far forward, that will also make it a little easier. So stand relatively straight, maybe just a slight tilt forward. So getting in position. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 10, 2, 3, 11, 2, 3, 12, 2, 3. And shake your wings out. Okay, feel free to take a break at any point. You don't necessarily have to do 2 rounds. If you're a little quicker and you kind of know what you feel like you don't kind of know what you're doing, you can do it faster and do 3 rounds. Or if you're a little tired, you can do just 1 as well. Okay, so when you go back to the upper body, we're going to do the opposite side, so the front of the arm. So it does exactly the opposite of what the back does. So the back extends the arm, the opposite side kind of flex the arm, or what we call bend the arm. Okay, so we're going to just do a basic bicep curl, except at the very top, see if you can consciously kind of engage more muscle. So imagine there's a peanut in your elbow pit. Okay, at the very top, try to see if you can crush it. Okay, so apply a little bit more force. See if you can try to squeeze, try to engage more muscles. So the purpose of lifting heavier weight is just to engage more of our muscles. And you can do that by just squeezing a little bit harder as well. Okay, so for this one, if you have a long enough band, you can just kind of step in the middle. Okay, so either with just 1 foot or both feet, up to you. If your band's a little bit shorter, you can either do it kind of 1 hand at a time, or you can do it kind of seated down. Okay, but usually I like to do it standing just because it is easier on the back, or safer for the back in general. Okay, give us a chance to work on our posture as well. Okay, so anytime we're lifting anything in front of the body, try to see if you can lengthen your back. So heart up to the ceiling a little bit, shoulders a little bit wider. Keep a normal curvature in the back. So not like this. This is too much. This is too little. Okay, somewhere in the middle. Okay, so when you do the 4 counts again, but at the very top, at the half a second, see if you can crush that peanut in your elbow pit. Okay, so just get in a good posture. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so your elbows also stay roughly beside your ribs. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, crush that peanut, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and if you have a little bit of arthritis in your hands and you don't, it's not very comfortable for you to grip something so small, just because the band is long, you might not be able to wrap your hands around. What you can do is just grab a water bottle or something, anything kind of circular or cylinder-like, and you can wrap it around like a water bottle or something. That will just give you kind of more to grip onto. That might be more comfortable for your hands. Okay, so if you have arthritis and you can't really grip it too tight, just lightly kind of anchor down onto anything that you can twist a little bit, or you can at least a little bit of a bigger grip. That will be easier on your hands. Okay, so on to the lower body again. We work in the front. So the front of the hips, front of the thighs, primarily extends the knee. So the back, remember, was bend the knee. This one primarily extend or straighten the knee. It also flex the hip or bend the hip a little bit as well, because the muscle goes from below the knee to above the hip. Okay, so it does this. It also helps with this a little bit. Okay, so today we're also not going to use any weights. You can, if you have ankle weights, you can add it on that way. Okay, but we're going to do it without a band. Okay, so what you're going to do is just you're going to stand on 1 foot. Okay, kind of stack everything on top again. Okay, and bring your knee up a little higher. Okay, the higher the knee is, the harder it becomes. Okay, but be careful that you're in a good posture. So try to stack everything top, or you can just think of getting a little bit taller. Naturally, you'll be in a better position. Okay, so all you're gonna do is gonna keep the knee in the same position while you drive the heel out and straighten out. Okay, so it just looks something like this. Okay, I'm going to do a freeze count again. So it'll be 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. Try to keep a tall position. So if it's too hard for you, lower knee a little bit. 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3. Okay, so primarily feel more on top probably. 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3. So balance out a little bit. If you feel way too much at the top, lower your knee slightly. Try to extend the knee a little bit more. 9, 2, 3, 10, 2, 3, 11, 2, 3, and 12, 2, 3. Okay, so probably very tiring at the front of the hips. Okay, so adjust the difficulty, adjust how many times you're doing. Okay, but once again, at the very top, see if you can consciously squeeze this muscle. So try to tighten this muscle up a little bit. The top probably is going to be very tight already, but see if you can consciously squeeze the bottom a little bit as well. Okay, if you find it's way too hard for you to bring up high and you don't feel much at the bottom, see if you can just work on your balance a little bit. So instead of holding on tightly, maybe just work on being a standstill while kind of straightening out and bending the knee. So if you have trouble lifting too high up and it feels way too easy here, just work on your balance a little bit. Okay, so let's give it a go anyway. So standing tall. 1, 2, 3. You could probably feel a little bit of stretch behind the knee as well. 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, front, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 10, 2, 3. So remember, 12 is just in kind of a number, so the point is just to make your muscles high, so it doesn't necessarily have to be 12 times. 12, 2, 3. Okay, shaking this out. Okay, so probably something that we're not very used to doing. Okay, it's also actually a good kind of balance exercise in a sense as well, because you're learning actually to separate the two hips as well. So a lot of times, because we do a lot of things with both feet together, we're not very used to separating the two feet. So a lot of people ends up, as they lift, they kind of bend around for a little bit. Okay, so because they can't separate the two legs too much. Okay, so it's actually a good mobility exercise as well. Okay, checking this out. Couple of deep breaths. Probably a little kind of maybe a little out of breath just because you're engaging multiple muscles at the same time. Okay, but when you're ready, let's repeat the bicep curl again. So once again, kind of always kind of think about how hard was it before? Do I need to adjust the intensity? Do I need to adjust the band to make it any harder or easier? Okay, and always think about your posture first. So long spine, wide chest, Okay, and 1, 2, cross that pin into your elbow pit. 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so probably front of the arm a little bit sore, shoulders will be a little tight, back you might feel a little bit tight as well. Okay, so these muscles have to stabilize the back, so you might, the body, so you might find it's a little tense, but primarily you feel the effort, you feel the soreness at the front of the upper arm. Okay, so shake things off. Okay, and we're just going to repeat the lower leg one again. Okay, so use a chair for balance if you need to. Okay, see if you can stack everything up. So once again, tall spine, wider shoulders. Okay, and you're just trying to drive the heels out while keeping that same posture. Okay, and bend it back. Okay, use the chair for support as you need. Okay, so 3 counts, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3. Second round, second set, I'm a little tired by now. 10, 2, 3. Okay, and 11, 2, 3. Okay, so at most I can do maybe 2 to 3 times. Okay, so I'm going to stop 11. Maybe different for you. Okay, take as long as you need. In between, grab water in between. Okay, when you feel that you can put in kind of at least the same effort as before, then you can start. If by the second round you can only do, let's say, 3 times and you just can't do it anymore, you may have to lengthen your rest time a little bit. Okay, so we want to be able to put in a kind of a solid effort in later second sets as well. Okay, if you can't, you might be just not ready for it, or you might not be taking enough of a rest in between the sets. Okay, but roughly when you feel ready. Okay, good position first again. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. Okay, I'm squeezing my hands just because it helps to stabilize the rest of my body. 3, I'm not squeezing very hard, just a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3. Okay, make sure you're not holding your breath. Holding your breath also means you're not bearing down as you hold here. Make sure you can still talk and still breathe even at the hardest position. 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 10, 2, 3, 11, 2, 3. Okay, so once again, for the second set, I can only do about 11 before I feel like I need to stop. Okay, so that's all we need. Okay, it's not reaching about a certain number, it's just putting in certain amounts of volume, certain amounts of effort in. Okay, and shaking out again. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit of a whole body exercise actually, because especially if you're holding your balance as well. So even your other foot has to work to stabilize, your other hip has to work to stabilize your body. So it's not your ankle is not wobbling back and forth. Okay, your hip is not kind of rounding back and forth. Your trunk has to work so that you're not swaying side to side. Okay, so it becomes kind of a whole body exercise, which is why we need to monitor what we're doing in our breathing, that we're not bearing down, which can cause the blood pressure to really spike up. So make sure you can still breathe at all points of exercise. So some people think if I can talk, that's okay, but some people might, at the very hardest point, they just really bear down, that will spike your blood pressure. Okay, so make sure you can moderate effort, okay, not to the point where you're holding your breath. Okay, so let's stretch out the muscle that we did use. Okay, starting from, let's do the easier one first. Let's do the front of the upper arm. Okay, so we need a wall for this one. You are going to just stand kind of almost your chest close to the wall. Put your arm roughly shoulder height. Okay, try to straighten out the arm. Okay, and you're just going to turn away from the arm. Okay, so this is my right arm. I'm turning towards my left. Okay, try to keep my elbows straight. Try to get my chest, my shoulders a little bit closer. And you should probably feel a stretch in front of your arm. If you're tight here, you might feel a little bit in front of the chest as well. Okay, and I'm going to hold it, let's say for about, let's just keep it simple. Let's do about 10 seconds, or 10 seconds each side. Okay, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and when you're ready, you can do the same thing on the side. If you want to, you can hold it for longer. Okay, so let's say at least 10 seconds, maybe up to 30 seconds. Okay, just at your own count. Okay, shaking things off. Okay, we are going to stretch the back of the arm. So 2 ways to do it. If you're flexible enough, get your elbow, so very basic, just to get your elbow up. Okay, if you can, reach up and across to pull the elbows in. Okay, if you have trouble reaching, what you can do is use a wall to help you push it up a little more. So you can lean your elbow into the wall, okay, and try to get your elbow a little higher and try to get your armpit into the wall as well. And so you're kind of doing this. So imagine there's a wall here. I'm almost trying to push my hips out and lean my armpit into the wall. Okay, so after you, if you can reach it, this is a little bit simpler to set up, I guess. Okay, if you can't reach your elbow, use a wall to help you. Okay, you can try both, see which way you prefer. And switch sides whenever you're ready. You can also just choose to do one side only as well if you if one of your shoulders doesn't go up this high. Okay, so I'm grabbing my left elbow with my right hand. let's do the back of the leg. So this one is the basic hamstring stretch. One where you have your leg, one leg out and you're leaning forward. Okay, so sit far enough forward and you can straighten your knee out. Okay, without it dangling up in the air. Okay, and focus on pulling your stomach forward, pulling your belly button towards your toes. Okay, feel the stretch behind the thighs. Okay, your back can run a little bit. Okay, but you make sure you feel the stretch here and not so much the back. Ten to 30 seconds on one side, switch whenever you're ready. Once again, focus on pulling your belly button forward. Doesn't matter if your hands can touch your toes or not. Okay, since we're on a chair already, if your chair doesn't have a backrest, you can try this variation to stretch your front. Okay, but you're gonna just turn so that so my chair is like this right now. I'm sitting with the armrest beside me. I'm gonna hug the knee, have one leg kind of dangles a little bit. Okay, so this is a variation. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, don't feel pressure to do so. Okay, and you're just gonna put one leg back. Okay, and you're just trying to almost straighten out the back leg a little more. Okay, so just try to use the back legs. Okay, try to open the hip a little more. Okay, be careful that you're not over arching your back again. Okay, so focus on almost try to straighten out the knee. And because you're in this seated position, your hips is automatically going to be opened up. Okay. And switch sides when you're ready. A little bit of high efforts for that one, so you might want to pause a little bit more in between. Okay, still trying to take deep breaths in and out. Okay, shake everything out. Loosen up the back a little bit so you can slightly right and extend the back a little bit. Just do one last one, just because we're holding on. So hands together. Okay, just bring your hands a little bit lower. Okay, just feel the stretch in your wrists. Okay, holding for 10 to 30 seconds. Okay, shake it out. Okay, so a little overtime. So thank you for coming, everyone. See everyone next time. Bye. No problem. No problem. Bye bye.